Okay, we are in walk-around mode in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and today we're taking our first look at the sensational Inibuilds A350. And the plane's been out for a few days now, and I've been pretty much exclusively flying it, and I've got to tell you, it's an amazing add-on. The depth of systems, texturing, level of detail, it's all there. And as you can see, as we move around, the detail they've gone into is absolutely fantastic. And once we've had a good look around at some of the exterior features, we'll get airborne and have a bit of a tour of the flight deck and cabin as well. But in the meantime, let's take a look at the detailing on this nose wheel gear. Absolutely incredible. Look at that. Really cool. And when we're in walk around mode, we can actually interact with all these hatches on the underside of the plane. Now that's the ground power inlet, so when you connect that up in the EFB, that will connect to the ground power unit there. And as we move along the side of the plane, we can just take in a bit more detailing. We've got the static ports there, and if we move along to the engine, we can actually open the cowling. If we click on that Rolls-Royce logo, there we go, that all opens up. Look at that. This is sort of next level stuff, isn't it? And everything is so nicely textured. Nothing's low resolution or blurry or anything like that. And they've used some really clever technologies as well, so it only sort of renders what's kind of right in front of you or when you're close by to it, just to help with performance. It does look really great. And we can also close these cowlings from this side as well. Just click on the engine, there we go. Moving on to the wing then, we can see some nice weathering on the underside there, and the plane actually weathers in real time. If you just leave it, it will get grubbier the more you fly it around. You can also choose how clean or dirty you want it from the EFB. There's a little slider that you can move up and down, but yeah, I've just kind of left it on sort of real-time weathering, which is pretty nice. Just look at that main landing gear, fantastic. And the brake pins will also wear down over time the more you fly around, so you have to replace those as well. Moving around to the back, there's another couple of hatches that we can interact with here. I'm not exactly sure what those are for, to be honest, so answers on a postcard. If you know, let me know in the comments below. And as we move around to the rear of the aircraft, look at the textures on that tail, look absolutely superb. Yeah, I've got no complaints about how the plane looks at all. It's really, really nicely modelled. Let's continue exploring the underside of the plane. Now we've got a hatch here. I know what this one's for. Let's see if you can guess. Let's open that up. So we've got our waste disposal point, and complete with a little poo emoji sticker. So it's nice to see someone's got a sense of humour. Well done, Inibuilds. Very good. And let's carry on down towards the front of the aircraft to see what else we can find. That one doesn't open, I don't think. Okay, so we've got some more panels here. So let's click on those. There's a couple here we can open up. We'll take a look inside, just move around. And in this first hatch we've got the refueling and defueling valves. And we've also got a switch where you can switch between off and auto, so I don't know whether down the line we're going to be able to manually refuel the plane. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? And then in this second hatch we have a decompression panel for our green hydraulic system. So let's close those up. Here we go. I do like all the little switches and clicks, it does sound great. Okay, so let's move along a little further then. And we have some more panels here that we can open. Little inspection hatch there. So we can have a little look in there and close that up. And if we continue to move down a little bit further, I think on the right hand side actually we've got our ACU inlet. So if you open that, there, down come the pipes, and it spawns in our little aircon unit, which is nice. And then this panel right above my head here is for the ASU, and again down come the pipes and it spawns in our little ASU unit there, so we can get some engines started using that if necessary. So hopefully you're getting a feel for the levels of detail they've gone into with this. They've really taken advantage of that new walk around feature in MSFS 2024. I can't think of too many other planes where you can interact with the exterior like you can on this. There's another little hatch here, look. Let's have a look in there. And I think that opens up into our avionics bay, which we will take a look at when we are airborne. So let's close that down. That is pretty much it for the exterior walk around. What I'll do now is get us airborne, and then we can take a bit of an interior tour of the flight deck and the cabin. Okay, so here we are then. We've just departed Manchester and we're about to make our way out across the Irish Sea. So we will hop inside the flight deck now and take a look at the interior, see what we can find. Right, welcome along to the flight deck of the Inibuilds A350-1000. As you can see, it is a fantastic looking interior. We've currently got the world map on the EFB screen. We can also swap that out for our en route Navigraph charts if we wish. We'll leave the world map on for now. As you can see, you've got these fantastic screens for our PFD and our nav display. Also the MCDU is all sort of touch screen, and the depth of the systems is quite remarkable, to be honest. And most importantly, we do have an operational tray table and a little secret keyboard. How cool is that? I do like that. And we can just stow that away. Little click spot there, little click spot there. And then moving around to the captain's left hand side, we've got the usual sort of oxygen masks that we can test. That's all working. We've got our window blinds, we can pop those out. They're some of the best looking window blinds I've seen, to be honest. They look great. We've got another one here. So yeah, the texture on those looks pretty realistic, I'd say. Okay, so if we continue to move around the flight deck then and take a look at the back, we can see we've got our jump seat there and we've got an animated one. If we click that click spot there, that opens out, which is really nice. Very swish. I do like the star upholstery, that's quite nice, isn't it? And what have we got here? We've got another oxygen mask there. You can see another keyboard stowed there on the wall, and a little PC on the first officer's side, and that is what the EFBs are connected to, so we've got one on the captain's side as well. And whilst we're talking about PCs, we can open the avionics bay and even go down and take a look around. And this is essentially a flying server room. It's not an aeroplane. Look at this. I mean, the level they've gone to here is, well, it's incredible, isn't it? Let's just have a quick look round the far side. So what have we got? We've got a bank of servers to our right. We've got 1, 2, 3, and I think there's another one behind us as well. So what's that? 5 banks of servers, which basically keeps the plane in the air, which is quite mind-blowing, really. So let's go back up to the flight deck, up the ladder, and we will close the hatch behind us. There we go. And you can switch the avionics bay off along with the cabin as well. So if you are struggling for performance, it might be worth trying to switch those off. And let's just take one last look at this fantastic looking flight deck. That is some piece of work, isn't it? Incredible. Okay, so to the flight deck door then, we can lock it, unlock it, and open it. And let's take a little bit of a tour. And the number one question that everyone wants to know, have they modelled the toilet? Yes. And the second question, have they modelled the toilet flush? Yes. Yes, they have. So panic over. Okay, so we'll close the door up, continue through to the galley area. And once again, all the modelling is absolutely on point. Look at that door, very well done. All the cabinets look good. We can open the curtain and let's move through. And we'll just take a look at the cabin control panel on the wall, and we can control everything from here. So if we want to have a bit of a play around with the lighting, we can do that from here. We can switch it to night or main, and we can also change the lighting in the avionics bay and also the cargo bay. And in the cabin we can select whether we want the lights bright, medium or low, so that's all been modelled. We can change the temperature in all the different zones, so we just press plus or minus to do that. And then we can also control all the doors. Obviously when you're on the ground, we don't want to be doing that now. So yeah, everything is modelled for the interior of the cabin. So we'll just pop that back to the Virgin screen and we will continue our walkthrough. Oh, nearly bumped my head on that Virgin crate. Does look great, doesn't it? Okay, so let's go through to business class then. That logo looks pretty sweet. Open the curtain. There we go. And this is for all you folks who, much like myself, probably never going to get the chance to see the interior of a business class cabin. One can only dream. Look at this. I mean, as you can see from the performance, it is running really smoothly. And as I mentioned earlier when we were looking at the engine, they've used some really clever technology, so it only renders what's in and around you or right in front of you, so it's not having to load in the entire cabin all the time, so that also helps with better performance as well. Let's take a seat here and have a look out over the engine. There we go. Lovely. Okay, so let's continue our walk through then. Go and check out some of the other parts of the cabin. Oh, just implanted my head into the overhead bin. So another curtain to open. Make our way through. We've got another central galley area on our left. Again, looking great. Now let's make our way through into premium economy. There we go, and we'll open the main cabin curtain as well. I am enjoying those ambient interior sounds as well, and there's also cabin announcements, so when you're taxiing on the ground or get ready for departure, the captain speaks to everybody in the cabin. It's another bit of added realism which they've popped in, which I do appreciate. Right, so as we make our way towards the back, let's just spin around, and what I'm going to do is look back along the cabin, and we will change the time and check out how that affects the cabin lighting. So if we stop around about there, and I will change the time. Let's go somewhere around about 6 PM, half 6. Look at that. And how good does that look? I really got to say, Inibuilds have absolutely knocked it out of the park with this. That is really stunning. Okay, so there is one other area which I have forgotten to show you, so I'm going to head back up to the flight deck and show you that. Okay, so if we turn back round and head out of the flight deck door again, and then turn immediately left through this door here, we've actually got a fully modelled crew rest area. How cool is this? So I've got a little seat, table, and then if we go up a little bit further, we've got a couple of little beds. So when the crew are on a break, they can cop a few Z's, get freshened up, and then come back and look after the passengers. So that is the crew rest area. And with that, I'm going to wrap up today's video. Let's just take one last look at that sensational flight deck. Now the lighting's on. Beautiful. Okay, that concludes my first look at the Inibuilds A350-1000 for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I hope you enjoyed that. There was a lot to unpack. Now I've got to say, Inibuilds have done an absolutely amazing job with this plane. It flies fantastically, and in the next video I will go through how we set up the plane from cold and dark, just to give you a bit more insight into some of the systems. But that's it for today. If you did enjoy that, give it a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.